Okay, we are live. Alicia is here with me. Sorry, guys, we're 5 minutes late because, of course, technical difficulties. It's it's funny. This Be Live TV is a newer technology, even though it's now been a couple years, but it's a little janky. But thank you so much for joining us, and Alicia, thank you for being here and putting up with the technical difficulties. I thought it'd be amazing to have this background. Let's see. I just want to show people. There's the ocean. I'm coming to you from California. But Alicia Upchurch is a dear sister friend of mine and also a former client. And I wanted you all to hear about her amazing journey into entrepreneurship as a healer, as a coach, as a leader, as a musician, as a vocal activist, alchemist, whatever, everything. Alicia, tell everybody a little bit about what you were doing for a living or are doing, and then what you're up to now. Like, tell us before and after.
Okay, happy to do it. And Mercury's about to go into retrograde. I think that's probably a part of
Maybe. I always blame Mercury.
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
Scapegoat. So I currently work full time selling sponsorships for conferences. It's a company that I've been at over 5 years now, and I'm really blessed to have found a company that listens to me, and I feel heard, and I get to talk to people, and I, for all intents and purposes, really considered. Oops, are we gonna lose each other? 1 second. I'm gonna plug my phone in because oh my God, and then there's my light.
No worries, no worries.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Done.
And you're upside down. Turn the phone the other way. Yeah, perfect.
I'm gonna have to hold it in my hand. Okay.
Oh. We'll make this quick.
It's fine. So anyway, so I sell sponsorships, and I essentially, get to connect with people. That's been my day job. That's really my level of excellence. I, got to a point where I'm making 6 figures, have a wonderful life, kind of cushy, comfortable. But I really was getting to a point where I was feeling really dead inside. I hated getting on the subway train. I, would wake up in the morning like, I can't believe I fucking have to do this. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on Facebook.
All good. Well, I don't know if Facebook likes it.
Bleep, have to get on to the subway again. And I was really going to a dark place. And I was fortunate to be able to talk to my employer about that and negotiate some work from home flexibility. But essentially, I talked with a friend who's a medium. Her name's Rebecca Fenner. And she helped me connect with my father, who had passed away when I was 15 years old. And I was coming at a really critical time where I was like feeling lost and like, why am I not happy if I've gotten all these boxes ticked, right? Like everything's good. Right? Why am I not feeling fulfilled? So that's where I was at. And, basically my father said to my friend about me, or the message that came through was, you're so convincing, you should be convincing people to live a better life. So that was a huge download or message. And however you really think about mediums, that was like the message I really needed to hear. So when I heard that message, I was fortunately already accepted into a healer camp, which is the Heebie-Jeebie Healers at Burning Man. So things were already aligned. It was like, oh, be a healer. But I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know what I was going to create or anything. So I was literally like, I've known Beth for years. She helps me create businesses, and I'm just going to give Beth a call. So I, embarked upon this program. I knew I needed a change. And so now really shifting into, after working with Beth for about 1.5 years, I'd say, came out on the other side, being really sure of focus on self-partnership. I've gotten my Reiki Master Attunement, so I'm an energy healer. I've started coaching. I've started a mindfulness coaching program to further, develop those skills. So, and feeling so lit up and excited about everything, like every day, like there's, I do my work and my day job, and it's actually come to a point where I was in Fort Lauderdale at a competitive event, and I'm at a cocktail reception selling a procurement event. But then naturally start talking about Reiki, and then I'm doing group Reiki at a cocktail reception. So,
that is awesome.
Together. And it's been that's been my 2020 thing, is to be where I am and let it grow and let it all start to flow in.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And I love it. So I have so much to ask. So, when you went to sign up with coaching, and I get, this is very, everybody comes to this feeling. Most people who come to me are, either working still full time or part time and feeling the call to do something else and feeling very unfulfilled in their day to day. But, were you hesitant to like go for it or sign up with a business coach? Like, what was the true feeling of like, oh my God, is this going to work? And the money, and like, I'm scared. What were some of the fears that you had, and what fears did you break through? Because you broke through your fears pretty damn quick.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like it had been, I personally was in a place where, if you hit, I believe that with great darkness comes great light. So you kind of, when you hit these places, hey, Natalie.
Yeah. Hey, Nat.
So yeah, so lit up by my client. So you hit these points where things are really dark, and it just, that message came through so clear. And my relationship with my father was complicated when he was alive, and it was something that really inspired me to like kick off and be like, okay, I have to do this.
Mm,
If you're in that place where you're like, I have to do this, I don't care what it takes, that felt you know that felt right. I know you
mm,
and you, so that made it easier. But I financially it's a big commitment, and
mm,
but I've been telling people that making that investment in myself was the best thing I ever did for my entire life, because I was like, I have to do this, and this is like scary enough and enough money where I'm like, oh god,
mm,
that's gonna come out again this month. What have I
mm,
done? So it's, when it's like, oh, it's just like, $100, something like a small amount of money can sometimes mean that you're not really taking that chance. So for me, it was the right amount of like comfort to really propel me and make me start acting and stop,
totally, totally. And it's funny. I was just on a call right before this, saying the same thing about this. I believe it's a soul's journey, right? Like you feel something eating at you inside, like, wow, I need to go do this. And yes, it's scary, but then the fear is actually like mixed with excitement. It's like it has to be a little stretchy. It has to be scary. Otherwise, we would all just be living stagnant lives. That's the whole point of stepping into, this higher version of yourself, into this next level of like, okay, I'm going to try something new that I've never done before. And of course, it feels scary. And even joining a mastermind program or a coaching program or working with a coach. And yes, it's designed like, first of all, I'm actually considered affordable compared to the rest of the industry. But essentially, it has to feel a little discomfort, because then a lot of people end up like, not taking it seriously or not actually getting into action. But when you have something on the line, it's like, oh my God, I'm actually making this real. And that's what Alicia did. And Alicia, I actually want to ask you next about, so one of the things I teach in my mastermind program is one of the many things, by the way, not everybody does this, but how to go do live in-person workshops and talks. And because it's actually, it's a very fun, easy, zero cost way to grow business. And, for those of us, like a lot of people, it's like, of course, you're on the path of helping people, connecting with people. It's a very good way to reach people besides, like, of course, there's social media, email, blah, blah, blah. But in-person talks is actually a very good way. So tell people about, you've actually done a lot of really cool workshops and even at like fun, like burner events. And, tell people about going onto that path of doing workshops and how it felt doing your first one. Like, was it scary? Were you like, I
yeah.
have doubts?
So yeah, I think it's really important to in approaching this and in this whole vein, what one thing I learned in discovering that there was something else for me is that everyone, you have to be growing to be living. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
growing, it's like, sharks die when they stop moving. Like we are dying, even though we're alive. You're dying inside. And
Mm-hmm.
at any stage of life, no matter how much you've achieved, you have to keep reaching or you're going to feel depressed. It's kind of that human condition where we always like want something more. Like instead of making that negative, like make it positive and like
Mm-hmm.
thing for yourself, or like be more yourself so that you can actually really offer what you came to this planet to offer. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of that moment where you're like, it has to be that. And in terms of workshops, it was terrifying. So, I mean, the first one I did, I haven't even repeated because I just felt like it wasn't ready or, but it was like summer and it was like Friday and like everyone's not, but I had a few really core friends show up, and it was around kind of the center of my, why statement, which is really circling around relationships and making it so that people are making their own path, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's to be by themselves or to be with a partner, and creating something that actually works. We have this sort of mindset that it's just kind of black and white, and it's like marry and you date, then you move in, and then you do this. So I called it derailed, all
Mm-hmm.
roots to love and dating. And but I mean, I was like a stress mess, but you know what? I got there and I figured it out, and I connected with some people, and it felt good. It felt good to be done with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and I kind of went back to the drawing board, did a little more marinating. Then I created my chakra activation workshop, which is, really an intro to energy healing for anybody who like has never done any energy healing, like doesn't really get it or know what it is. I've tried to really think about workshops that kind of help people understand what I'm doing better. But then also, so that one really is like my Reiki sound healing. I do drumming and I introduce people to chakras. And then if they are interested in deeper work, then that's a great jumping off point, while also giving them something to
Mm-hmm.
do on their own, without committing to Reiki specifically. So that was filling
Awesome.
that gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that are coming through. And now I'm doing the personal finance
Yeah.
workshop. So workshops to me now are becoming like, I just thought of like, maybe I'm going to do one on like selling, like, you know, just sales for
Mm.
your life, because in every part of your life you're selling.
Yeah.
So it's been a great, like almost creative outlet to think of
Ah.
what I have in my mind and how I can teach and offer that
Mm-hmm.
without necessarily having it to track back to, and this makes sense because of this is my program, or it's a direct feeder. I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes people get really, I was getting stuck in, okay, it has to make perfect sense for my program.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just good to get your voice out there. So it's been really awesome. And the
Just get out there. Yeah. And so have you gotten some clients from doing these workshops or, like,
Really, it's really interesting though. Like, I'll do a Reiki workshop and then I booked like a polyamorous coaching client, you know, you know,
that's
um,
how it works.
start talking about yourself. And in every workshop, I kind of reiterate, if that, for instance, with personal finance money is something all couples argue about. And if I'm on this journey to help people, have better relationships with themselves so that they have better relationships with everyone else, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's romantic or otherwise, fits under the umbrella. And I just tell my story and that seed is planted. And it's this kind of thing where, yeah, you don't have to know exactly how it's going to work. And maybe it's somebody came or didn't come to your workshop and reached out separately, some
Mm-hmm.
in the vein of like what I'm doing during my day job and how it all goes together. Now, as an entrepreneur, I'm able to talk to my clients about sponsorship in a new way, saying, like, if I sell you the speaking opportunity, it isn't just a speaking opportunity. It's not just a workshop. It's a month of talking about yourself. And
Mm.
I'm doing this workshop. This is why I'm doing the workshop.
Mm.
I want people to get out of it. And then people are seeing, people saw my personal finance one. Maybe it
Yeah.
showed up, but that's so much more, that's the reason to do it. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so beautiful. And I'm so glad. I know you have a recent client that you just booked from, I think, from another workshop. So, and a coaching client. So let me ask, like, where have you noticed this work and stepping into entrepreneurship and being with the coach and being in a mastermind on top of it, being with the group and seeing other people on a similar path? Like, where has this journey affected your day-to-day life? Like, not just, now you have some extra money, now you have clients, now you're helping people, now you're able to share your Reiki and not just go to, learn Reiki and do it on yourself, but now you're actually helping people. But, like Nellie, who I interviewed last week, was like, yeah, it's helped my relationship and my confidence and my sex life even. So I'm curious, like, where have you found this? Just like you just said, it's helping your day-to-day job. Like,
Yeah.
what has come up for you like through this journey?
I mean, I never would have expected it to like bleed into making me a better salesperson in my day job, so that was like a really pleasant surprise. And it's made me feel like more and more grateful. I'm gonna like end up crying for where I am,
Mm,
because it's almost like everything's been sort of set up in this way where actually selling sponsorships is a great place to be, where I'm meeting new people and I go to conferences and can talk about healing there, in addition to the other stuff. So that's been really beautiful in terms of creating that gratitude. I
mm,
mean, my own relationship with self is just completely transformed. I mean, living my purpose and feeling like there's always something next. I'm never kind of like, well, like what now? Like I'm like, okay,
mm,
do this and I want to create this and really want to write an article about this and I want to get this voice. So like it just has opened up all of this, and Reiki also has done that. So if I may, like I really recommend like doing business coaching and like a spiritual practice that lights you up
yeah, you
and makes
have to.
alive and confident, because the Reiki practice, it's interesting. I don't know if I would have started doing Reiki if I didn't
Wow.
think of it as part of my journey towards being a healer, but it's almost been even more crucial in my healing of myself, uh,
Hmm.
to trust my instincts and intuition, know what lights me up and what that even feels like, and having that courage. It's just like
Mm.
positivity, like mind, like positive thoughts actually multiplying with that. So yeah, so this whole journey, yeah, that's a lot of things.
Awesome. No, it's great. I love it because I know it's so much. I always tell people it's like, yeah, of course I'm here to help people start and grow businesses, but our work and our day to day, whether it's our day job or our business or both, it's such a big encompassing part of our being, as humans in the Western world or non-indigenous. I mean, it's pretty much all humans have to work in some form. And it makes up such a big part of our being when we come into a deeper alignment with like, okay, this is bringing us more fulfillment, And I always tell people this doesn't mean you have to quit your day job. And one thing that happens, like Alicia, it's like a lot of people end up actually appreciating their day job more, or renegotiating work from home or work part time or a different structure. Or, I mean, even other people have manifested like new, better aligned jobs in this process where they're bringing their coaching into their job, or like you, like bringing Reiki into your day to day work. And it's like, you never know how this can transform in a deeper way. Like maybe your company hires you to do, I don't know, like Reiki in corporate level, like who knows? But tell
I
us.
people at like who work at hospitals, because that's starting to be something that people
Oh
want to
yeah,
for like children's hospitals. I have an event on patient experience and I actually get to talk to decision makers in that area. So like that,
so
and
cool.
connections there that may turn into more. So yeah,
Mm. So
it's surprising. Go ahead.
one last question I love to ask is, think about the whole journey, like since start to where you are now. What is like one or two stories that are like really magical? Like, whoa, that just manifested. Like one of my clients I spoke to today just had this like, like a woman like sign up to work with her and she like didn't even know she offered that. Like things that are just, they seem to be like effortless, like flow in, like weird stuff. Has anything like that happened?
Well, I mean, the biggest example probably is getting to work from home full time. It is something that, like, so I mentioned earlier in this call, like, I was able to talk to my employer about mental health and get like a little tiny bit of flexibility. Like, we're talking 2 days a month. Um, but, changing my vibe and changing my purpose and knowing I had more for me, and like kind of helped me like advocate for myself in every part of my life. And I would say that, it started me writing too. Like I told you, I had never been like a writer. And now people are like, you're such a great writer. And
Mm.
I got like my butt kicked at NYU and I was like, I don't know, I'm not a writer. So that I wrote this article called Work from Home or Die. That was
I love
feelings about feeling suicidal about continuing to commute in New York City. Raise your hand.
it. Mm-hmm.
that.
Back when I did. Yeah.
And, yeah, and like 6 days later, I like it was like there was a little something that had happened. Like I have colleagues that like say I'm really loud, and I got like this email, and I like forwarded it on, and I don't know, it was just like that plus all the honesty. Like I had the courage to tell my boss, like, I want to give you my best energy, and when I come into this office feeling anxious and horrible, I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
And so literally 6 days after we had this initial conversation, or I dropped this article, he was like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "I don't know, I'm really busy." And then he was like, "Okay, it'll just take 5 minutes." I'm like, "Okay." And he brings me into a room, and we're like, "We're going to let you work from home full time." And I had not even asked. Like I had sort of said, like, I'd like to work from home more. And I was like, this person keeps saying I'm loud. Like, I don't even be here, like, I don't want to be here. She doesn't want me here. It's a lovely colleague that I love. But, like, I was taking up too much space energetically in that office. And so they made more space for me. And the fact that I work from home full time is why I'm able to be on this call. It's why I'm able to be more flexible and prioritize myself, while still like crushing it at my day job.
Yeah.
Like the amount of energy, it's not even just time
Mm-hmm.
that you end up saving. So I would think that's the biggest, like, I did not, and my boss acknowledges, I didn't say, I really want to go home time or else. They told me that would never, ever happen. So
That's a big deal. And I know that because I used to work in corporate, and that was always the dream. Like, I get it. I commuted like 40 minutes to the city every day, and it was like,
yeah,
you come to the office and you're like, like already stressed, already
yeah,
anxious, already pissed off, already late. And
yeah.
the thing is, it's a waste of not just time, but energy. And, these days, and I get it. I was in those companies that were like, no way. Like, they would have never allowed it. But,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing that happened and you don't even have to ask. And I really believe, in the energetics of this. And it's all about, this is a huge part of why people join the mastermind. Like, people will join my mastermind and literally not even know what it is that they want to do, but they know that there's something out there. And what happens is, they get into this
No idea.
alignment, like following this passion, following like the fun, the joy, the excitement. And then weird things just start happening. Like someone else in the program, like, got paid to play music, and she never thought she would make money with music. And
Right.
someone got an amazing job. You got this, like, collaborations, like things just happen, and then like random clients just start coming. And I love this so much. And I'm so happy for you.
Things happen when you invest in yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, things happen when you invest in yourself, and waiting until you've figured out like what business or this business has gotten started to hire a coach is not, that you could be starting off having done a ton of work that you're going to have to undo too.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
felt that it was definitely really worth my time and investment, because I was like, at the end of it, now I really know what I want to do, and I've started my business, and it's coming. Like, people are
Yeah.
me, and it's like, like I did all that work in 2019 to get them like to like the flow to come. I put all the effort out, and I'm like, like,
Mm-hmm.
offering
Awesome. Awesome.
coaching. So it's been awesome. Yeah,
So
thank you.
tell people they can connect with you if people are watching this and are not already connected. They can connect with you where? On Facebook, and I know you have a Facebook page,
Yeah.
right?
So I have a Facebook page. It's Alicia Upchurch, Reiki Energy Healer and Authentic Love Coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I've left it because I really do want to focus on interpersonal, but my program is called Self Partnership.
I love it.
I do also have a self partnership Facebook group. If you're somebody who is, maybe in a relationship and feeling like you maybe lost your individual sense of self, come join us. We're talking about, ways to reconnect with self. If you are single and feeling like that, like pressure of having to have a partner to feel like you are allowed to exist and affirmed, or that pressure, like that, every relationship has to like become something
Mm.
to yeah, to be able to to join in that. So yeah, it's called, sorry, I got like a call from a scam. Yeah. But yeah, so self-partnership, it's called, I think the tagline is mastering relationships through spirit and self-love. So that, and then Instagram, I am Chakra Talk NY. Got a personal finance workshop coming up in February 12th. It's called Slaying Debt and Slaying Fear. Because what we realized, it's slaying debt and slaying fear. And what we realized in the first ideation of that was that most of us really just needed to talk about how we didn't want to talk about money. And it felt like so shameful to even like touch the subject. And we wanted to just hide those numbers. So if you're, struggling with personal finance and you don't know any basics, or you just like feel like you need to rip off the Band-Aid and face some debt, or be able to have conversations around it.
Just talk.
The Lightning Society. So that's
awesome.
Oh, it was so fun, the first one. So
shout out to Lightning Society. I haven't seen those guys in years. Hey guys. But awesome, Alicia. This has been so good to talk to you. I really appreciate it. I could hear from you so much more. But yeah, you can actually tag your Facebook group and your Facebook page in the comments when this is posted, and it's actually posted now, but we're going to end in a second. Yeah, anybody who's watching this, because actually my email list is going to get this. And if any of you want to reach out to me about my mastermind, we start next month. It's an awesome group so far. There's coaches, healers, people doing psychedelic integration work. And everybody's where Alicia was at. Almost everybody has a job or a part-time job and is making the shift or adding it on and wants to start on something so that they can quit their job later, or at least have something going that really fulfills them. So Alicia, I love you, you goddess. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you so much for joining us, everybody. And if you need anything or have any questions, you can just comment below or send either one of us a private message. Thanks for being here today.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to hang.